The NBA has just revealed the 2024 All-Star reserves, and Scottie Barnes does not feature on the team, something I didn't think I'd have a problem with until I saw just who made it ahead of him. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody. This is Amateur Sports number 2, the second channel in the Amateur Production Network for additional Toronto Raptors content and videos just like this. So if you like what you see, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more Raptors content like this. Help the channel on the push to 2,000 subscribers. This channel is great for the additional Raptors content. Also, for Raptors content, I don't have time to do a full video on the main channel because I need to talk about the NBA All-Star teams in particular, and if Scottie Barnes was really as big of a snub as Raptors fans are making it out to be. So, for starters, when it came towards NBA All-Star voting here, I was pushing for Scottie Barnes to be an All-Star, voting for him every day and whatnot. Didn't really think we'd get Scottie Barnes into a starting position for the All-Star game. He's had a great season so far. I mean, that is definitely undeniable associated with the player. He has been terrific so far this season, and definitely All-Star level statistics being displayed by the player in his third season. 20 points per game, 47% shooting from the field, 36% shooting from three, a 53.6 effective field goal percentage. The assists have gone to 5.8, 8.2 rebounds per game, 1.3 steals, 1.5 blocks. Like, it has been an outrageous season for Scottie Barnes, and a lot of the stuff on the court that he does so well doesn't show up in the box score either. Like, he's consistently, like, the driving force of what the Raptors are trying to do on offense, consistently so involved. I think involvement has been a little bit diminished since the trades went down with Siakam and OG Anunoby, kind of feeling out his new role and whatnot. But regardless, Scottie Barnes has displayed some All-Star level statistics. Like, if this was a player who made an All-Star game, you would understand why. But there's a lot of really good players in the NBA. There's a lot of really good players in the Eastern Conference. Only so many players can make the NBA All-Star game. 12 players can make it. And looking at the Raptors, it's tough. With a 17-30 record, voters are looking for a reason not to vote you when the cast and the catalog of players you can choose from is so restricted. They're looking for reasons not to choose you. A 17-30 record is a reason not to vote for Scottie Barnes. So I wasn't necessarily expecting Scottie Barnes to make the All-Star game. So when the rosters were getting revealed, I was hopeful, but not expecting Scottie Barnes to make it. So when he didn't make the All-Star team, I was like, okay, I understand the record, a lot of good players, whatever. But then I saw the actual teams. Then I started to have a bit more of a problem here. So I can understand Scottie Barnes not making it, but some of the players that did get in instead of him, in particular the top two over here, yeah, now we start to have a problem. So for starters, like, the easy one is Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, tricky, y'all, man. I mean, listen, I might catch hate for some video, depending who catches it. Jaylen Brown tricks y'all. Coaches who pick the All-Star reserves have some sort of unwritten rule here where it's like, okay, if you're one seed, you get 2 All-Stars. No matter what. 1 seed, 2 All-Stars. So, on the Timberwolves side, they get Karl-Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. You can actually argue Rudy Gobert should be instead of Karl-Anthony Towns. On the Celtics side, you get Jason Tatum, of course. He's an All-Star. He's a starter, rightfully so. And you get Jaylen Brown. You could definitely make a case Kristaps Porzingis is more deserving of an All-Star than Jaylen Brown. You could definitely make a case that Derek White actually is more deserving of an All-Star spot, and maybe some other players like Trae Young, who could definitely be an All-Star. But Jaylen Brown trick y'all, first of all. Coaches force 2 players in the top seed to be an All-Star, even though it's an individual achievement, not a team achievement. And it is what it is. That one's not surprising. Kind of knew Jaylen Brown was going to be an All-Star. Now the problem is Paolo Banchero. I could not believe Paolo Banchero made the All-Star team. Paolo Banchero was a great player, yes, but now I have a problem. I was going into this All-Star selection process, and if Scottie doesn't make it, won't be a problem. I can understand. Now it's a problem because Paolo Banchero made it over him. Scottie Barnes is better than Paolo Banchero. Yeah, usage is very high for Banchero. That's like easy. Look, you're splitting hairs when it comes to choosing a player for an All-Star game. Completely understand that. Like, understand that before we go into things here. Like, if I'm putting down Paolo Banchero, I respect the hell out of Paolo Banchero as a player 100%. But, like, here's a guy who's able to get up all the shots that he wants to get up. He's a guy who gets all the usage that he wants. And doing so for a team that is, you know, a couple of games above 500, nothing that is overly outrageous from a record standpoint that you have to get him into the game. Like, yeah, if you're going to give Paolo Banchero, who is not super efficient, if you're going to give Paolo Banchero, not super efficient, 49.5 effective field goal percentage, 45% shooting from the field, if you're going to give this guy 30%, oh my God, 30% usage, yeah, you're going to get 23 points per game. You're going to get points. And that's the case for Paolo Banchero. You're giving him all these touches. Absolutely, this is going to be a player who's going to put up 23 points. But what about like every other facet of the game? Like, okay, Paolo Banchero scores more points per game. Scottie Barnes has more rebounds per game, more assists per game, more steals per game, more blocks per game, is way more efficient from the field, actually is very marginal here. They're pretty much the same. We'll give it the same 3-point percentage. Scottie Barnes is a better free throw shooter, much better effective field goal percentage, much better box plus minus, and much better value over replacement player. Okay, Paolo Banchero plays for the better team, and he has a higher usage and gets more points per game. Therefore, I guess he's an all-star. It's the thing. All-star voting, choosing this stuff, records, it matters when you want it to matter. It just matters when people want it to matter. Like, Steph Curry, his team is 20-24. He was obviously going to get in. But, like, Trae Young can't get into an all-star game. Magic are 2 games of 500. Paolo Banchero gets in. Like, obviously they're above 500. And obviously these teams have far superior records to that of the Toronto Raptors. But, yeah, if your only argument between two players is record, like, you should probably consider that, okay, if the person who is on that bad team is putting themselves in this much of a conversation, he's probably the better player. But again, people are looking for reasons to not choose a player, and the easy way to not choose a player is to go with team record. I mean, even Anthony Davis, you look at the Lakers numbers here. The Lakers are 25-25. Like, it hasn't been as if he was a shoo-in to make the team. Meanwhile, like, sometimes record doesn't matter for guys like Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox on the Sacramento Kings, who are 27-19. So again, this record stuff is just situational based when you want it to matter. So ultimately, I'm not necessarily upset Scottie Barnes didn't make an all-star team. I think in the future, there's going to be at least one appearance. And I think that's a conservative guess as to Scottie Barnes' all-star candidacy going forward. But just the fact that that there are players who he is better than getting selected, like, you don't think Scottie Barnes is putting up those numbers with that sort of usage. Like the Boston Celtics. If you replace Jaylen Brown and Scottie Barnes one for one, who's doing more with those touches in that space? I'll leave you with that. What do you guys make of Scottie Barnes not making the All-Star team? Was it a snub? Was it not a snub? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. That's it for me for today. Thanks so much for watching this video on Amateur Sports 2. Check out my main channel for more Raptors content. Check out my Clips channel for the best stream highlights from the streams from this channel here. You can subscribe to this channel you're currently watching and check out another video from my main channel that you may enjoy. I'll see you next time for another video here on Amateur Sports 2.